Welcome, Gemini. This is your focus for December the 24th through to January the 6th, 2019. We're saying goodbye to an era, 2018 in our life, and we are welcoming in 2019. And January the 6th gives us our very first solar eclipse of the year. So, how amazingly awesome is that to have eclipse energy? Okay, so the last set of eclipses, we are finishing off that energy of the eclipses and we are moving towards the new energy that is going to be open to us for, well, about 6 months, right? I think it's about 6 months in between the eclipses, so don't quote me on that. I'm not an astrologer, but it lasts for months on end, these new beginnings, these new starts. And so often when we are celebrating a brand new year coming in, the astrological energy really doesn't, and any of the energy really doesn't, we're making our New Year's resolutions, but it's kind of, it's not the true new year. It's not the time to make those new commitments to ourselves. It's not the time to set our sights on new beginnings, new starts in our life. But this year, the energy is actually supporting us in doing just that. So now we are in full moon energy. December the 22nd was a full moon. So it is about release. It's about healing. It's about endings. It's about understanding where we need to let go. I think one of the things that are very important for you to look at in particular is what is truly of value in your life. Where do you place value? Is it on the things? Is it on material wealth? Is it on people? Is it on your health? But really, it's taking stock of your material security, where it lacks, where you need to build on it, where it's strong, where it will support you. Also, it could be a little bit about your self esteem and raising the bar on who you are and feeling better about who you are. And that might be removing certain things from your environment or allowing healing to come in order for you to feel strong about the steps that you're taking. When we get to the solar eclipse, that will be in your eighth house. That's about death and rebirth, growth and change. So it's still along the same topics, but we are now not clearing house anymore, but looking at where we want the new changes to occur in our lives, where we want the birth or the rebirth in our life. Let's see what the cards say. High Priestess. Well, the High Priestess definitely asks you to sit in quiet contemplation and look within and see the magic of what you bring to situations, to environments, to relationships, your talents, your abilities, your magic, though. Truly, what makes you unique. And she brings in a type of magic. So expect magic to be around you. Expect miracles to happen, however small they are. Realize that the energy that is supporting you and actually bringing in some wondrous things for you. But first, you have to kind of understand the magic that you already own within you. The things that you can do that nobody else can, or other people can, but it's the way you do it, or the way you say it, or the way you step into it. We have the Seven of Swords. Um, this is really, I think about people in our lives. It could be situations in our life. What is really good for us? Um, whether or not it's a person, a certain person, or maybe even a group of people. It could be a group of people, or it's the environment, a situation. But is it healthy for me to be in that environment with that person, doing that? I think you're kind of starting to get rid of perhaps some things in your life that you don't feel comfortable anymore. Maybe you felt really comfortable with a group of people, and now you feel like you need people with different interests or different mindsets or different goals and dreams in their life than the people that you are currently with. This is also about trusting your gut. So following the high priestess, definitely follow your gut, your intuition. When you are in a situation or with a person and something feels off, trust that you're right, that it's your intuition, it's your sage wisdom that's coming in to protect you, to warn you, to raise that red flag. And the more you start listening to that voice inside of you, the more you will start to realize that there is also a voice calling you to step into certain environments with certain people. We have the Ace of Wands. Um, with these cards, it's about surrender, sacrifice, taking time to reflect, taking time to just be, to allow the balance to come in, maybe pushing your ego aside on what will other people think if I say this, do that, want this, have this in my life. Step into that experience. So it's accepting what is in your life. That's part of this card. Taking stock of where you are exactly at the end of 2018 and where you want to go, what you want to strive for, the balance. And you will get um intuitive knowledge on how to bring in the balance in your life with that card, how to step forward with a balance. King of Pentacles, that's a very strong card. Um, Now, he is probably the least of all for the least of the risk takers of all the kings. But still, his crown is a living vine. So he thinks it through. His truest abundance is the planned risk, the educated risk. Gathering the information, gathering the knowledge, and then going forward in certain directions. This could also be new ideas, or taking an old idea and putting a twist on it and making it something new and wonderful. This talks about great opportunity to grow your abundance. And, you know, when I first started out, I was talking about your abundance, your material wealth, perhaps, and what is truly important for you, what isn't important. So you could be looking around your apartment and saying, I really need a home that's mine with some land and feeling that solid, secure foundation underneath my feet, and going out in the morning and smelling the fresh country air. Or you could be saying it's time to kind of leave the countryside and get into the city and really push forward on my dreams, my desires, my goals of job opportunities, perhaps career opportunities. Maybe it's group opportunities. You know, maybe you can play an instrument, you can sing really well, but where you live, it's miles between neighbors, and so you never get together with people, and so you don't really play as often as you should, or sing, or really grow it in some way. I'm just using singing as an example, and playing an instrument as an example, country and city as an example, but it can be almost anything that you put something new into your life, or change it up in some way to put yourself into new environments, different people. And these are thought out choices, okay? We're not just jumping into things and hoping they'll work here. Let's making the plan. Then we have the death card. This is the true transformation of who you are becoming. So you may even feel like you are sitting there with that little black cloak on. hiding yourself. You've got your weapon there, so if anybody comes near, you're just gonna cut it away before it can possibly maybe do any harm. So there might be some self-doubt coming through. This is where the energy is asking you to release your inner child, to allow yourself some kind of freedom, exploration, transformation. So this could just be your routine, and you do, your routine every day, and it's, you wake up in the morning and you start it, and you get at home at night and you end it, and then tomorrow morning you start it all over again without, you're going through the motions rather than living the experience. And this is asking you to live in the experience, live in the now, allow that transformation to come into your life. This is very strong energy for you to allow some things to let go in your life in order to really transform your life into new new opportunities wherever you want them. I mean, you could be a millwright, and now you want to be a painter. Like it's really night and day. I'm kind of getting that whole night and day experience here. So, what have you been holding down? What have you been holding back on? What have you not allowed yourself to really step into? And that could be, the ego taking over rather than allowing the magic to flow out of you. And, what other people think and say, well, you know what? They'll pay attention when you start to grow in that path, when you start to excel in that path. We have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is a strong energy. Now he's the most reckless one. So we've got the most cautious one. We've got the most reckless one here. And he's not so much reckless as he just gets so super hyper focused on where he wants to go and what he wants to become. And he's ready to use that sword. He sits there with the confidence and he says, it's my way or the highway. So we could be a little bit blunt in what we are saying to other people, and we might forget to kind of finesse it a little bit so that it's a softer blow and they are open to it, they embrace it rather than rejecting it. So we could burn some bridges here, we could ruffle some feathers here, we could really push people the wrong way without thinking it. So think before you talk, think before you act. Absolutely. But I'm going to lay this card right underneath the High Priestess. So, if you allow that magic out, I mean, what better energy to have but the King of Swords to take it forward for you? So dream of the possibilities of, it could be something that you put on the back burner a long time ago and you just thought, oh, what will people think if I do that? Or there's really no money in it. So, I got to put a roof over my head and feed myself or maybe somebody else. Maybe you're responsible for other people, you have dependents in your life, and so you just couldn't step into that, or you didn't feel you could step into that. This energy is kind of saying you'll see how you can actually embrace that, you can actually step into that, you can make it doable in your life. We have the Hangman. Now, the Hangman is actually, in part, the energy of 2019, because if we go 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9, it is a 12. In numerology, you boil it down to the single digit, so that would be a 3, but we have to remember where and how we got that 3 energy, and it's with the 12. So, exactly what I was saying, it's about letting go. It's about allowing the balance to come in, taking time to reflect, taking time to just be. Surrender and sacrifice are two words that go with this card. Absolutely. It's putting your ego aside and stop worrying what everybody else is thinking and saying, and following your own path and understanding the true balance and harmony that will come in because of it. We have the Ten of Swords. Um, this is about determination. This is about pushing through when you can't see any reason to push through. So, whatever you are considering, whatever you are looking at right now. And I think you're probably looking at a lot about the value in your life and where there is true value in your life. And it could be the things that you want. Absolutely. It could definitely be about that. Um, are the things that you have now that you realize that you don't need in your life? That could be another thing. But these are all lessons that we learn. And some of them beat us up pretty good, our decisions. Now, whenever we make a decision and it turns out, not to be the greatest of decisions that we made, we can kind of beat ourselves up sometimes and say, oh, why did I do that to myself? Well, you were supposed to, because you were supposed to, first of all, clear some energy out of your life in order to allow new energy in, but to also teach you a valuable lesson about your truest of values, your truth. What is important to you? What is irreplaceable? What is priceless? Well, the sun is breaking through the clouds here, and you are starting to push yourself up. So it's about having that determination, that strength, that fortitude to push through, even though nothing is telling you that it will work going forward or everything's going to come together just fine. We have the Four of Swords. It's been so popular in these readings. This is really about recharging, taking time to just be. Once again, taking time to reflect. This is talking very much about coming off the battlefield and going towards something completely different. And I've been getting that so much with the night and day kind of energy that is surrounding us with these readings. So the 2018 energy was a lot of looking at ourselves in different ways, in different aspects, who we were with, the environments were in, um, our truth, when we stood in our truth, why we stood in our truth, when we backed down, when we had to compromise, why we compromise. And so there was a lot of challenges in 2018. In 2019, we start with an eclipse, a solar eclipse in Capricorn. Now, on January the 1st, we have Mars will be moving into your area of, it'll be at 0 degrees actually, of groups of people. Um, Groups, friends. It could be social causes, humanitarian ideas that you might have. It could be just about inventive action going forward, where you get this idea and you just, run with it, get excited about it. So don't limit yourself to what the future might have in store for you, because a new path might completely open up to you, especially if you're honest with yourself about the true magic that lays within you. 2019 is the Hangman. But by honoring the Hangman's energy, we can easily step into the Empress's energy, the energy of the three, right? So optimism, happiness, personal growth, travel, growth. And so we have to kind of take a time out during these next couple of weeks as we go towards the solar eclipse to really realign our thoughts, our mission, our path forward with what we truly want to step into. Our final card is the Page of Wands. That couldn't have been better, could it? You stand here in quiet contemplation. You are weighing things out. You are imagining your tomorrow. And the landscape is completely barren, which tells me that it can be anything you want. To not limit yourself to, well, that's doable and that's not. January 1st, I was talking about that and I kind of just trailed right away from it. So about the halfway point, maybe a little bit more. The sun will conjunct Capricorn in your 8th house. So that could be your charisma, your sexual desire. It could be also the things that, it's death and rebirth, or death and birth, or growth and change. And so there is a lot churning inside of you to what needs to go, what needs to stay, what needs to grow, what needs to flourish, what you need to step into. And Jupiter, I think, is a semi-sextile at 11 degrees. This is all at 11 degrees. So very strong energy with a master number there, guiding these three planets. Jupiter is about your abundance, and it could have a lot to do with relationships and how your relationships work into it, your passion within relationships, maybe the value of the relationships that you have with others. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.